Welcome to the Debt to Financial Freedom podcast.
Makes a lot of sense. And is there a general rule of thumb for how much you should have in the emergency account at any given time? And sometimes people say it's 3 months of salary. Some say 6 months of expenses, of all your costs. I guess it depends, right? Replacing a car is a pretty hefty emergency, but really, you also help with insurances, and some people would have income protection as well, right, to cover a shortfall. How do you calculate?
So an emergency fund really should be 3 to 6 months of expenses. We don't use salary just because, we have clients who are bringing home like $15,000 to $20,000 a month after taxes. And if we told them to set aside that amount in cash when they're saving half of that every month, that would be an exorbitant amount that they don't need because they're not actually spending that. It really is that 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you're the general certified financial planner, kind of when you go throughout the coursework, they say if you're married and you have dual income household, you're working in separate areas, so you're not really if you have two couple who they're both tech employees, you're probably going to want 6 months of expenses. But if you have an accountant and a tech employee or something like that, where they're in different areas, then 3 months is probably okay. If you're single or you are married but you're a single income household, any sort of single income, we want 6 months. Self-employed, we want 6 months. You're working in high risk kind of jobs where it takes a long time for you to get some sort of job, or you're very specialized. My spouse is an airline pilot. You can't just pick up a new airline job and go there the next month. It does take a while to find a career. So if you have any sort of careers like that, a little bit longer of an emergency fund, 6 months is good, just because it gives you some extra time to not have to go into debt. And it's okay if you're like, rule of thumb is I really only need 3 months, but I want 6 months. That makes you feel better. That's okay. It's just when we hit anything after 6 months and we're getting up to a year of cash, we kind of want to think about okay, do we really need that? Is that really realistic? Because it can be a little bit too much to have for cash on hand.